I fell into anti-doping quite by accident. I'd left university, was looking for a career in London, and I had a friend who said, "Why don't you give anti-doping a shot?" And so I literally started in what was then a very, very small organisation, servicing sports as regards to anti-doping. I think there were 5 of us, and started as an administrator. And I've spent the past 16, 17 years in anti-doping, changing jobs fairly regularly within that sphere. And I think to a degree, seeking out the opportunities to try and get a holistic view of what anti-doping is about. So whether it was a role just processing the paperwork that we collect from athletes, or whether that was making a decision to, at some point in those 16 years, to go and work for the WADA accredited laboratory in London, what I've tried to do is see anti-doping from all facets and from all angles. My role previously was as Director of Operations here at UK Anti-Doping, and I was responsible for overseeing a team which comprised of the testing team, investigations and intelligence, and also science and medicine. And then some 8 months ago, I became Chief Executive here. UK Anti-Doping's mission is to protect clean sport and clean athletes. And it's my responsibility as Chief Executive to ensure that I'm leading the organisation and managing the organisation in delivering that mission. I have responsibility as accounting officer for all things money related, and I'm responsible for ensuring that we deliver against our strategic plan, and that I'm overseeing the teams that deliver the business objectives that underpin the strategic plan. I am responsible for developing effective relationships. So that means with our stakeholders, which is the Department of Culture, Media and Sport, governing bodies, athletes, international federations, British Olympic Association and British Paralympic Association, and really trying to influence the anti-doping agenda, not only on a national level, but also on an international level. The media attention that we've recently received certainly hasn't changed how we do things here at UK Anti-Doping. What it has done is raise the profile of anti-doping across sport and across the general public, I would say, which can only be a good thing, because I think generally anti-doping is probably the side of sport that people don't like to necessarily acknowledge. It's perhaps the more unpleasant side of sport. And what we try to demonstrate to the public and to our stakeholders is that we're here to protect sport. We're here to protect the clean athletes, and clean sports don't need to fear us. We're here to catch the individuals, whether they're athletes or athlete support personnel, who are robbing the clean athletes and sports of their right to compete cleanly and in fact to win, and to win fair and square. In a nutshell, yes. The way we now operate is that we have an intelligence and investigations function at UK Anti-Doping, and I'd say 6 years ago, 7 years ago, that was a world that we had no idea about. And what we had to do was look at a different talent pool set within our staff, so that they could engage with our law enforcement partners. So it was finding individuals who had background in law enforcement, who could speak the same language as our counterparts when we're dealing with information sharing and information exchanges. And it was ensuring that we had the right balance between individuals who came from a law enforcement background with also understanding the context of sport. So it's a fine balance to making sure that you don't suddenly be seen as a law enforcement agency yourself, but you taper it according to the sporting context in which we operate. Anti-doping is a very niche area, so I think anybody who wants to get into anti-doping has to understand that within a UK context, we are the only body in the UK that do what we do. Anybody wishing to progress beyond UK anti-doping has to understand that there are limits within a UK context unless they want to go and work within a governing body of sport. And usually a number of our staff end up working abroad, whether it's for the World Anti-Doping Agency or major event organisers. We attract a huge talent pool within our team. This isn't about needing to be a scientist, needing to necessarily come to us with a background in anti-doping. What we need is skill sets that range from human resources to finance to IT to communications. Yes, we have individuals where you need to understand the science behind what we do, but a lot of the operational side of anti-doping has to be learnt. There's certainly no university degree that says this is how you go into the world of anti-doping. So what we do is just try to attract the necessary skills, ambitious, talented individuals who can then develop in the roles we have on offer. Seek out those opportunities when they present themselves. I think people fall into maybe one of two sets. One are the people that wait for opportunity to come knocking at their door, and then there are the individuals who will open the door and walk through it and seek those opportunities out. Anti-doping is very niche. Opportunities to stay in anti-doping, whether in the UK or abroad, are limited. So you have to build the relationships with our counterparts. You have to make your name known so that when those jobs do come up, you're top of the list or your name is being branded about already. It's very competitive, but I would say that anybody who wants to work in this field, it's fascinating. It's exciting. No one day is the same, and therefore they will be rewarded with a very diverse, very fast-paced, exciting job when they do enter into it. I think when you talk about being an inspirational leader, it's not just about being in the field of sport. I think the same qualities apply to any leader, inspirational leader, in what industry you're talking, whatever industry you're talking about. And I think those are numerous. I think you need to be an excellent communicator. You need to have empathy. So this is about ensuring that the people that you work with understand that they are valued and respected, and that your wins are a team effort rather than simply being all down to you as the leader of that organisation. Credit where it's due. You need to be approachable, honest, trustworthy, and you need to engender enthusiasm and excitement with your team for them to look up to you. Lead by example. We have some excellent values here at UK Anti-Doping, which are to lead, achieve and collaborate, and they underpin everything that we do here. And I like to think that those values are values that I certainly live by, and I would want my staff to live by them too, and I hope that would put them in good stead for anything that they then choose to go on to.